Day 71 is a Town Hall 11. What's the progress like? That's what we're going to have a look at in this video. Before we do that, I'm Mister. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, take a moment to hit that subscribe button for daily gaming uploads. Let's have a look at the walls first. I did do a few of the walls. I had some wall rings, did a couple of pieces, and of course on the normal base all the pieces are next to each other, but yeah, just a little bit scattered. I've had to move 4 wall pieces out of the way. I don't know how many I've got there now. Let's just have a look. How many wall pieces does it say I need to still do? 278. So there you go. I've done 22 wall pieces apparently. Okay, let's get into the upgrades as they are at the moment. What I've got left to do in terms of time and days in the village and in the lab. Okay, in this you can see all of the cannons have now been upgraded, and I have 3 of the archer towers currently going on their final upgrade. All of the cannons need to go up 1 extra level, and I have 5 archer towers still to go up 1 extra level after these 3 are done. Obviously all the whizzies, the air defense, these mortars and the Teslas. Now, I did calculate how many days I had. I didn't include the mortars. That adds a little bit extra, but we'll come to that in a second. Okay, so how are the heroes looking? All right, the Queen is level 50, the King is 44, the Grand Warden is going up to level 13. Now I do have enough to put the Grand Warden down again, and by the time the lab is finished, I might have enough. I've got 2 days for that. So depending on which way I want to go, if I do a dark thing in the lab and then possibly when the Grand Warden comes up a day later, maybe drop a dark rune and get the King going up to level 45, something like that. That's an option. Or get the Grand Warden down straight away or something. But anyway, in terms of the village base, the mortars, the Teslas, the air defense, the wizard, all of these other things, the 3 normal barracks and the 1 dark barracks, those items, not including the heroes. So I will leave a builder devoted to the heroes alone. All of these other items works out to be about roughly 300 days of building left to go. And when I divide that by 4, obviously 300 divided by 4 is 75. So I'm looking at another 75 days. That is at optimal building times, mind you. So this is with the gold pass 6 days, 9 hours, with the gold pass and the perks being a 20% builder boost. In which case, you're not always going to get that. But best scenario is 75 days. That doesn't include any rewards that I possibly might get out of the clan games. For instance, in this clan games, the rewards are going to be a crown and a couple of builder boosts here and a lab boost. So I think I already have a builder boost. We'll just have a quick look in the magic items. See what I've got. I've already got one. So that's going to take 30 hours off all builders. So 30 times 4 is 120 hours. So I'm going to be reducing that by about 5 days all up, I suppose. Oh, well, if I include the fact that all 5 builders will be taking 10 hours off. So, that's 50 hours. Look, it's not going to make a great deal of difference. I just feel I've got about another 2.5 months of building left to go. That doesn't include instant upgrade potions or things like that. So a good 2 months left. Now let's have a look at the lab, because the lab's really disappointing. The lab hasn't stopped and the lab's not going to stop. Okay, elixir wise on the lab, I've got barbs, giants, wall breakers, and whizzies, and the P.E.K.K.A. Dark elixir wise, I've got these 3 spells: Poison, Earthquake, and Skelly. And then I have these remaining troops: the Hog Golem, Valkyrie Witch, Bowler, and the Ice Golem. And all up, that equals over 100 days of lab. Let's call it 103. You could just round it up and call it 105. That way, if you say I've got 75 days of village upgrades, then the lab is going to finish, roughly speaking, 1 month later. Roughly speaking. In which case, village and lab, not including walls, will have taken roughly about 4.5 months for the village. You could possibly call it 5 months without the gold pass, or maybe even a little bit longer. But 4.5, a little bit over 4.5 months just to upgrade the village. This is my prediction. And then the lab will be about a month after that, so about 5.5 months for the lab. I'd really like Supercell to reduce the times on that. If they could reduce the times on 11 and 12 and 13 so that you can get through 11 quicker, because I don't really see a need to spend, and I've been keeping everything going, I don't see a need to spend nearly 6 months upgrading a town hall when the goal is to get to 13. And I know that Supercell wants to keep people involved in the game. But the reason I stayed at Max Town Hall 9 for so long was because once I had Max Town Hall 9, I felt that I could finally play the game as a Town Hall 9, as Town Hall 9 was meant to be played. Because if I instantly upgraded to Town Hall 10, then I'd be back to being a weak Town Hall 10 again, which is what will be happening with the Town Hall 11. Soon as I've got a max Town Hall 11, you could say, finally, I can play the game as a Town Hall 11 as it's meant to be played. But because you need to upgrade to Town Hall 12 and Town Hall 13, you'll do that. You'll dive into Town Hall 12 and suddenly you're a weak Town Hall 12. So you spend the entire time of the game being weak and trying to play catch up. That's how I look at it, at least. Anyway, look, I understand that once I've got a max Town Hall 13, there apparently is no end game. But the end game is trophy pushing and war, and I don't feel a need to be doing anything different. If I want to play some more, then I start another account on top of the 5 I've got. Well, I've actually got 6, but one of them I don't really do anything too much on. But that's another story in itself. But I just don't have time to do it. So currently I'm upgrading 3 bases with the gold pass. And I've got 1 base that's max Town Hall 11, but I'm still working on the walls. But when I've got the gold pass bases to go, they just take all priority. So I'm not even finishing the walls on the other Town Hall 11. And of course, I've got a Town Hall 12, Town Hall 10. So yeah, like Super Rush Town Hall 12, but that one just drags me down. But the Town Hall 10, I'm just letting it sit there because, you know, maybe I'll upgrade it, maybe I won't. But anyway, this is about this particular base. So far, 71 days as a Town Hall 11. This is the progress that has been made. And another roughly 75 days of building time until the base is max. Anyway, that's all I've got for this video. All that's left to say is thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.